welcome again to Elektro Vox Infest 2023. I'm here with Mark of Choke Chain. So,
how's it going?
Thank you very much for joining me. All good. Could you just introduce yourself to those watching and sort of explain what kind of music you make?
So I'm Mark, as he said. Choke Chain is just kind of like old school, I guess. Like I'm just trying to do, like in America, there's not a lot of like really old like European style EBM going on right now. There's like clack, like what Matt Finale does, but like I'm just trying to do, I guess, like stuff like old leather shit mixed with like Skinny Puppy. I guess that's just kind of it, you know.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic. Okay. So the three questions that you've chosen for me is, firstly, tell us about your recent release and the thoughts behind the tracks.
Okay. So in exactly 1 month, I have a new album coming out. It's called Mortality, and it's like loosely a concept album, I guess. It's kind of like the culmination of like a pretty unhealthy thought process I've had for a while, where I like hyperfixate on mortality. Okay. You know, it's like a very existential like sort of thing, and I just kind of think just the tracks are just the best tracks I've written so far, because every record for me has been like a progression, because I started out a few years ago not really knowing that much about synthesis in general, you know, because I come from punk music.
Okay. Yeah.
And so every release has just been me kind of just like learning how to do this style of music better, and I just think that these tracks are just like the best that I've been able to put out so far, and I'm really excited for people to hear it.
Fantastic. And after what everyone said about your music already, that sounds exciting.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay. And how different is your music now from when you first started?
Well, as I said, if I could put it like in the shortest way possible, just like better in every way, but like to give some more context to that. My first stuff was like incredibly like minimal, like one bass, a drum track, a lead, and vocals, and like that was it, you know. I think like the simplicity of my music just still kind of comes from just being in punk bands, you know. But I've kind of tried to like consciously add more elements, you know, just to like give more dynamics to the songs in general. And I think the production is way better, because my first release, I didn't really know what I was doing with like mixing and production and stuff, and like now I do. Like now I actually know what it is I'm trying to achieve and how to achieve it, you know.
Yeah, so now it's going to be sounding crispier.
Well, and like what I'm trying to achieve, I guess, is like just like a really raw sound in general. So like not really knowing what I was doing at first wasn't as much of a hindrance, I guess, to people that have like the goal of making like a super produced, polished thing. So I'm just getting better at like that specific sound, I guess. I don't know if I could mix a record for anyone who wants like a really produced record, but like for what I do, I think I'm getting a lot better at it.
Yeah, and that's enough. Okay, and then what is the most important part of creating music for you?
The like cathartic release of it for me, because like at the end of the day, I'm just doing this for me, you know. Like I like being able to play the shows and travel and meet a bunch of people, but like at the end of the day, like I'm not doing it for other people in any way. It's just for me, you know.
Just for fun.
Yeah. Well, you know, and partially because I feel like I need to do it. Like I need to write about these things and need to say these things for my own sanity.
Similar to punk in a way, then. I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
It.
Yeah. And so it's just like I have issues that I need to talk about, and there are things that I have issues with that I need to talk about, you know. And like the most important thing to me is like just being able to like scream about those as loud as possible, basically.
Yeah, glad to hear it. Okay, so yes, 7 questions to pick then, so 7 to do. So okay. Which would you like first?
Silly.
Silly. Yeah. Next one?
Serious.
Okay.
Silly again. Serious. Was that 4?
That's 4.
Give me another serious one. A silly one. And then another serious one.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so first one is the silly one, and it's Kirsty that asked this one. So if you were ever going to cover or remix a cheesy or classic Christmas song, which one would it be and why?
I don't know, something just absolutely ridiculous. I might just do like Deck the Halls or something. Just like, but make it like the angriest I could possibly do it.
Deck the Halls with blood.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Nice, okay. And serious one, if you could perform with anyone, living or dead, who would that be and why?
Oh boy. Probably like Crass or something. Cause they're like a really influential band to like my politics and like my way of thinking. Just like the whole anarcho-punk thing. And they were like the total forefathers of that. And I just think that'd be cool, you know?
Yeah, sure would be. Okay, and another silly one. This one is from Taz.
Okay.
So, would you rather only ever play one of your songs live ever again, or have every one of your live songs slowly but inevitably turn into All Stars by Smash Mouth?
Oh boy. I kind of think I would just perform one song forever. But I'd have to think of what song that would have to be. So there's a song, one of the first songs I wrote on my first record, I think is the best song I ever wrote. So maybe I would just do that over and over again.
And which one's that?
It's called Grave.
Grave.
It's very like, it's one of the heaviest songs I ever wrote, and I'm really pleased with it. So
and it's going to be in your set today, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Okay. And a serious one then. So, what was the most memorable or fun night that you've had performing on tour, and why?
Probably. Oh boy, I've had a few. So I toured with Frontline Assembly last year.
Nice.
And that was crazy because they're like hugely influential to me. And I can't even believe I got to do the tour, but I got to play the Metro in Chicago with them, and like it's a huge room, you know what I mean? And like playing in front of like 1,000 people, opening for like one of my biggest influences, it was pretty crazy. But there's also another, this also has to do with the Metro. So I played Cold Waves Festival in Chicago at the Metro. I played it twice actually, but the first time I played in the small room, and then the year afterwards I got to play in the big room at the Metro, and that was after like I got kind of popular in America, so there was like an incredible amount of people there, and like that was a really like life affirming experience. So either of those two specific instances are probably my favorites.
It does sound like a lot of fun. Yeah. Right, and serious, if you could play the best performance of your life but only to one person, who would that be and why?
Probably my older brother, because he's the person that's kind of responsible for me being into music for degenerates. You know what I mean?
Nice. So he got you into it all.
Yep. And and he's never seen me play live with this specific project, so I'd really want to make sure that it's like a good performance for him.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. And a silly one, and Tim made this one up.
Okay.
So what's the weirdest thing you've ever put on your rider and they've actually given you?
Socks.
Socks?
Yep. Because going on tour, socks get disgusting, and then they like get a bunch of holes in them and stuff. Especially like in the winter when you're touring, because like your feet get all sweaty and it's disgusting. So whenever I'm able to, I like stockpile socks to go on tours, basically in riders if I'm able to.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's very smart. So last serious one now. So
Yep.
has there been a moment where a particular instrument or sound has been the unexpected key to you finishing and unlocking the potential of a song?
Yeah. So like 75% of all my songs are written using samplers. So that means I use a lot of like unorthodox sounds in strange ways, you know. And I like to use a lot of like orchestral instruments, but like really manipulate them, you know, in a crazy sort of way. So one time I was going through a sample library and I found like it was like a cello or something, and you know, it was like a really long note because they like bow the strings for a long time or whatever, and I cut it into this really short segment and then like put a crazy amount of distortion on it, and it was like the craziest bass sound I've ever heard.
And that was
yeah, and I was just like I just need to do this for every song. I mean, I don't do it for every song, but like it made me like think about specifically like how I can find bass sounds in things that are like more unorthodox. And usually what I'll do is I'll like layer that with like an analog synth or something to just give it like, just make it really fat basically. But yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And then final question I have then for you, Mark, is do you have anything you'd like to say to your fans?
Thanks for caring at all, you know, because when I started I wasn't sure if anybody would really care that much, and I've been proven wrong like time and time again over the past few years. So all I just want to say is thanks for supporting me and believing in me.
Yeah, I mean, I can see quite a few people very happy to meet you yesterday.
Yeah.
Rebecca was over the moon.
Yeah,
to
right.
meet you, so,
Yeah.
All right. But perfect. Thank you ever so much for joining me.
Yep.
Thank you for watching, and press the buttons. Thanks.